All right, so today we're going deep on something pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah?
The daily life of a modern witch.
Ooh.
Now, when I say that, forget about all the, Hollywood stereotypes.
Right.
We're not talking about, flying broomsticks
Sure.
or cast spells on, unsuspecting neighbors or whatever.
Right.
It's more about intentionality
Yes.
and mindfulness and a deep connection with nature.
Absolutely.
So think about how to weave a little magic
Yeah.
into your everyday life.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, and I think it's about time.
Yeah.
Kind of shed those old tropes about
What
it means to be a witch.
Totally outdated.
Yeah.
This reminds me of a quote
Okay.
from the guide that we're exploring today,
Okay.
which is Daily Rituals of a Modern Witch.
Okay.
And it says that modern witchcraft is less about supernatural feats
Yeah.
and more about finding enchantment in the ordinary.
Ooh.
It's a way of life,
Yeah.
a way of seeing the world,
Yeah.
and harnessing your own personal power.
See, I love that. It's about personal empowerment, not focus, focus.
Yeah.
So let's say someone's listening to this and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, this path seems kind of interesting.
Well-
Where do I even begin?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Well, the guide suggests that the way a witch starts their day can have a profound impact on their experience.
Okay.
So we're talking about morning rituals,
Okay.
not just, grab a coffee and go,
Right.
but intentional acts to kind of set the tone for the day,
Yeah.
cleanse your energy, and basically prepare yourself for whatever comes your way.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
But I gotta be honest with you. I am hitting the snooze button like 3 times before I even think about getting out of bed.
Of course.
How am I supposed to fit in a whole ritual
Yeah.
before I even, start my day?
Well, that's the beauty of modern witchcraft. It's all about adaptation
Okay.
and finding what works for you.
Okay.
So the guide suggests things like smoke cleansing,
Right.
but maybe instead of like a full-blown ceremony,
Yeah.
you just light a stick of incense while you're making your coffee.
You know what? I actually have some Palo Santo that's been sitting in my drawer.
Yeah.
I never knew what to do with it.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
So,
You're using the smoke to symbolically clear out any stagnant energy and kind of create a fresh start for your day.
okay.
The guide even gives you a little affirmation you can say while you do this.
Oh, okay.
Like, with this cleansing smoke, I release what no longer serves me, welcoming clarity and peace into my day.
See, that's what I need.
Clarity.
And peace.
Especially on Monday morning.
Especially on Monday mornings.
Yeah.
What else can I try?
Well, the guide also talks about working with crystals.
Okay.
Again, it doesn't have to be complicated.
Okay.
Let's say you're feeling anxious about a big presentation at work.
Right.
You might choose a grounding crystal like hematite
Uh-huh.
and just hold it in your hand while you're visualizing a successful outcome.
So it's like having a little pocket-sized support system.
Exactly.
Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Are we talking about, like, good vibes only crystals here?
Well-
Sometimes I need to unleash a little,
Right.
fiery energy.
Yeah, well, that's where knowing the properties of different crystals can be helpful.
Okay.
So if you need that boost of confidence and courage, maybe you reach for carnelian instead,
Okay.
which is associated with vitality and action.
Okay.
The key is to choose a crystal that resonates with the energy you want to cultivate.
Got it.
The guide even suggests creating a little crystal grid on your desk to enhance focus and productivity.
So I'm picturing, like, a crystal power grid for my brain.
Exactly.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
So you've got your incense oil,
Oh.
you're holding your power crystal.
Yep.
What's next in this magical morning routine?
Well, the guide talks about incorporating divination practices,
Okay.
like pulling a tarot or oracle card. It's not about fortune telling,
Right.
but rather a way to gain a different perspective or insight into a situation.
So it's like getting a little nudge from the universe.
Yeah, a little cosmic guidance.
Especially if it can help me avoid traffic.
Exactly.
That's, like, great. Yeah.
So the guide suggests keeping it simple.
Okay.
You shuffle your deck,
Uh-huh.
ask a question, like what energy do I need to embrace today?
Okay.
And then intuitively choose a card.
Yeah, I'm starting to see how these little rituals can actually be quite
Yeah.
grounding and empowering.
Exactly.
But I gotta be honest, I
Uh-huh.
struggle with consistency.
Yeah?
Like some mornings I'm all about my meditation app,
Right.
and then other mornings I barely have time to brush my teeth.
Of course.
So how can I make these practices stick?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
The guide really emphasizes it's not about being perfect,
Okay.
but rather finding a rhythm that works for you.
Okay.
It's like any new habit.
Yeah.
It takes time to integrate.
Right.
So maybe you start with one practice like the incense cleansing
Mhm.
and then gradually add others as you feel more comfortable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And remember, it's not a chore.
Right.
It's about bringing a sense of intention and mindfulness into your daily life.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired.
Good.
So I've conquered my morning routine.
Yep.
Now, how does a modern witch kind of navigate the rest of their day? Is
Yeah.
it all about spells and potions?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
While the guide does delve into spell work,
Uh-huh.
it really emphasizes that magic can be found in the most mundane activities.
Okay.
It's about shifting your perspective
Yeah.
and bringing intentionality into everything you do.
All right. I'm ready to sprinkle some magic into my day.
Okay.
What kind of spells are we talking about?
Well, one that caught my eye was a simple spell for your morning coffee or tea.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
You're telling me I can infuse my morning caffeine
Yes.
with magic?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. The guide suggests stirring your drink clockwise
Oh.
while visualizing your intentions for the day.
Okay.
You're basically infusing the beverage with your energy and desires.
And can I add a little creamer in there
Yeah.
too? Or is
Yeah.
that going to mess it up?
No, you can add whatever you like.
Okay.
You can even add a pinch of cinnamon for prosperity or a drop of honey for sweetness in your communication.
So what do I say while I'm doing this?
Right.
Make me a magical millionaire.
You could certainly try that.
Okay.
The guide suggests something more along the lines of,
Okay.
with each sip, I welcome energy, focus, and success into my day.
I like that one too.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get on board with that.
Yeah.
It's like a little pep talk in a mug. But
So-
what about when you're like slammed at work?
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
you've got a mountain of emails.
Right.
You've got that one colleague who just loves to drain your energy.
Yeah.
Where's the magic in that?
Well, that's where the guide's emphasis on connecting with nature comes in.
Okay, but what if I work in like a cubicle farm?
Yeah?
You know, with a view of the parking lot.
Well, even then, you can find ways to bring nature in.
Okay.
So maybe you keep a small plant on your desk.
Right.
Or collect a few smooth stones to hold during those stressful moments.
It's like creating a little oasis of calm.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
In the middle of all that chaos.
Yeah. And remember, the guide also mentions carrying crystals for specific purposes.
Oh, okay.
So let's say you're feeling overwhelmed and need a boost of energy.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you keep a piece of citrine in your pocket, which is known for its properties of abundance and manifestation.
So like a little pocket-sized sunshine.
Exactly.
I could use some of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I feel like we're just scratching the surface here.
yeah.
What other kind of magical tools and techniques does the guide recommend?
Well, one that really stood out to me was the concept of sigil magic.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
What exactly are sigils?
So they're basically personalized symbols you create to represent your intentions.
Okay.
You can draw them on paper,
Uh-huh.
carve them into candles, or even discreetly incorporate them into your everyday life.
Wait, are you telling me I can like draw a magical symbol on my coffee cup and manifest my dreams?
Not quite that simple.
Okay.
But the concept is similar.
Okay.
You're imbuing a symbol with your intention and then kind of releasing it into the universe.
Okay.
The guide even suggests drawing a sigil for protection on the back of your phone case or for focus on your notebook.
Okay, I need a crash course in sigil making.
Yeah.
This is getting really interesting.
It is.
But before we get too carried away with our magical symbols,
Sure.
let's shift gears a little bit and think about the evening hours.
Okay.
What does a witch's evening routine look like?
Well, it's a time for winding down,
Okay.
reflection, and more in-depth spell work.
Okay.
And one of the most popular tools for evening magic is...
Candles. Yes.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. There's something so calming about candlelight.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And in witchcraft, candles are more than just a source of light.
Right.
They're powerful tools for magic.
Okay.
Different colors represent different energies and intentions.
Okay.
For example, white is often used for purification and clarity,
Mm-hmm.
while green is associated with prosperity and growth.
So if I'm feeling a little out of sorts,
Yeah.
I could light a white candle.
Exactly.
Clear the air.
It's about setting the mood and amplifying your intention.
Got it.
The guide provides several candle spells
Okay.
for various purposes
Yeah.
like attracting love, releasing negative energy, or even boosting your creativity.
Wow.
You choose the color and the intention,
Uh-huh.
and the candle's flame helps to focus and amplify that energy.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
It's like you're taking a simple act,
Yeah.
lighting a candle,
Right.
and you're adding this layer of intention and ritual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It can be that easy.
And it makes it even more meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, and it's accessible to everyone.
Right.
You don't need any fancy tools or ingredients.
Yeah.
Just to candle your intention and a little bit of belief in the power of your own energy.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's empowering to know that we can all kind of create a little magic
Yeah.
in our own ways.
Absolutely.
I feel like we're just scratching the surface of evening rituals.
Sure.
What else does the guide recommend?
Well, one of the most profound practices the guide emphasizes is dream work.
Ooh.
Tapping into the power of your subconscious mind.
Okay, so this makes sense to do in the evening.
Right. It's like stepping into a different realm.
Yeah.
A world of symbols and messages waiting to be decoded.
But I gotta be honest, I rarely remember my dreams.
That's okay.
Is there any point in even trying dream work if you're a chronic dream forgetter?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The guide suggests starting with a simple practice.
Okay.
Keep a dream journal by your bedside.
Okay.
Even if you only remember snippets,
Uh-huh.
jot them down immediately upon waking.
Okay.
And over time, you might be surprised by the recurring themes,
Yeah.
symbols, emotions that emerge.
Okay.
It's like piecing together a puzzle of your subconscious mind.
So it's like this conversation with your inner self.
Exactly.
That's revealed through these dream fragments.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never thought of it that way.
But what do you do with those dreams once you remember them?
Yeah. What do you do?
Is it all about interpreting symbols?
Yeah.
It can be, but it's also about simply observing without judgment.
Okay.
So notice the emotions that arise,
Uh-huh.
the characters that appear,
Right.
the landscapes you traverse.
Okay.
These can offer valuable insights into your waking life.
Wow.
Your fears, desires, and patterns that might be playing out subconsciously.
It's like having a therapist that lives in your head.
Right.
Who's whispering you wisdom through these dream sequences?
Exactly. This is blowing my mind.
It doesn't have to be complicated.
Okay.
The guide suggests asking yourself simple questions. Okay.
Like, what was the overall mood of the dream?
Uh-huh.
What emotions did I experience? Were there any recurring symbols or characters?
Okay.
And you can start to connect those insights to your working life.
Okay, I'm definitely going to give this dream journal thing a try.
Yeah.
But what about these darker, more shadowy aspects of
Yeah.
our subconscious mind?
Right.
How does a modern witch approach those?
That's where the concept of shadow work comes in.
Okay.
And it's a deeper dive into the parts of ourselves we tend to hide.
Yeah.
The fears, the insecurities, and past wounds that we often suppress.
Ooh, that sounds intense.
Yeah.
Isn't it better to just focus on the positive?
Well, while it's great to cultivate positive energy,
Yeah.
the guide emphasizes that ignoring our shadow selves doesn't make them disappear.
Right.
In fact, they can often manifest in unhealthy ways in our lives.
So it's about acknowledging and integrating
Exactly.
those darker aspects of ourselves.
Yeah. Bringing those hidden parts of ourselves into the light and integrating them into our wholeness.
But how do you even begin to do that?
Yeah, it can feel a little scary.
Yeah.
The guide offers several prompts and exercises for exploring your shadow self.
Okay.
One simple practice is to ask yourself, what patterns keep repeating in my life, and how can I break them?
Okay, that's a really powerful question.
Yeah,
It makes you look at those recurring challenges and see them maybe from a different perspective.
absolutely.
This is heavy stuff.
It is.
Maybe we should take a little break
Yeah.
and process all this magical knowledge before we dive into the overarching philosophy of modern witchcraft.
It sounds like a great idea.
All right, listeners, stay tuned.
Yes.
We'll be right back after a short break to delve even deeper into the world of modern witchcraft. Okay, so we're back, and
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still kind of reeling from all this talk about
Sure.
crystals and sigils and dream journals and everything.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in,
It is a lot to take in.
but it's fascinating stuff.
Fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
So before the break, we really dove deep into, all these different daily rituals, and practices and things. But
Right.
what's the bigger picture here?
Yeah.
What's the core philosophy behind modern witchcraft that
Yeah.
kind of ties it all together?
That's what's so refreshing about this approach to witchcraft.
Sure.
It's not just about the rituals themselves,
Right.
but the mindset that they cultivate.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing your own power,
Yeah.
connecting with nature,
Hmm.
and living with intention.
Yeah.
And the Daily Rituals Guide calls it weaving enchantment into the everyday.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's like love the artist of your own life.
Exactly.
Adding those little
Yeah.
magical touches to make it even more vibrant and meaningful.
And the beauty is that anyone can do it.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't have to wear a pointy hat or have a cauldron bubbling in your kitchen.
Right.
It's about finding what resonates with you and incorporating it into your own unique way of life.
Hmm. So if someone's listening to this and they're like,
Okay.
okay, this all sounds pretty cool, but I don't know if I'm ready to declare myself a witch.
Sure.
Can you still benefit from these practices?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Remember, we're talking about intentionality, mindfulness, and connection with nature.
Right.
These are universal concepts that can enhance anyone's life.
Yeah, that's true.
You might already be doing some of these things without even realizing it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Like, I love taking walks in the park and feeling the sun on my face.
Yeah.
Is that like a witchy practice?
It absolutely can
Okay.
be. If you're doing it with intention,
Uh-huh.
focusing on connecting with nature,
Right.
appreciating the energy of the earth.
Right.
That's definitely aligned with the principles of modern witchcraft.
So it's not about the activity itself, but
Yeah.
the energy and intention that you bring to it.
Exactly. It's all about the energy and intention.
I'm starting to see how this can be woven into
Yeah,
so many aspects of life.
absolutely.
But let's say someone wants to try this.
Uh-huh.
What are some baby steps they can take if they're interested in exploring this path?
Well, the guide suggests starting with small, achievable rituals.
Oh, okay.
So instead of a full-blown smoke cleansing ceremony,
Right.
maybe you just light a stick of incense while you're setting your intentions for the day.
See, I told you I was going to try that Palo Santo.
There you go.
What about crystals?
Yeah,
Do you need like a whole collection
not at all.
to get started?
Even a single crystal can be a powerful tool.
Okay.
So choose one that resonates with you. Maybe rose quartz for love and self-compassion, or amethyst for peace and intuition. You
Yeah.
can just hold it in your hand while you meditate,
Uh-huh.
or place it on your desk as a visual reminder of your intentions.
So I'm picturing a little amethyst on my desk reminding me to breathe
Exactly.
and stay calm when things get hectic.
Yes.
Okay. I love it.
It's a good reminder.
What else?
Well, the guide talks about incorporating the moon's phases into your practice.
Okay, I've heard a lot about moon rituals,
Yeah.
but I gotta be honest, it all sounds a little mysterious to me.
Yeah, well,
What do you actually do?
it can be as simple as setting aside some time during the new moon
Okay.
to reflect on your goals and intentions for the coming month,
Uh-huh.
or taking a ritual bath under the full moon to release any negative energy or emotions you've been holding on to.
So it's like you're using the moon's energy as a guide,
Exactly.
an amplifier for your own intentions.
Yeah, it's a way of attuning yourself to the natural rhythms of the universe.
I like that.
Yeah.
It feels very connected to nature, which is something I've always been drawn to.
Absolutely.
You know, this reminds me of something I struggled with for a long time.
Okay.
I used to feel like I had to be perfect
Yeah.
in my spiritual practice. Like
Yeah.
I had to do everything right according to some rule book.
Sure.
But this feels so much fun freeing.
That's one of the things I appreciate most about this guide.
Okay.
It emphasizes that there's no one right way to practice modern
I
witchcraft.
would like that.
It's all about finding what resonates with you
Yeah.
and creating a practice that feels authentic and empowering.
So it's less about dogma
Yeah.
and more about personal exploration and discovery.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's really important for people to hear.
Yeah, especially for those of us who might have felt intimidated or excluded from more traditional spiritual paths.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Modern witchcraft is about reclaiming your power
Uh-huh.
and creating a spiritual practice that feels aligned with your values and beliefs.
Yeah.
It's about intuition connection and embracing the magic that exists within you and all around you.
Okay, I am feeling inspired. But let's be real, life isn't always sunshine and rainbows.
Right, of course.
So how does a modern witch deal with those inevitable challenges and setbacks?
That's where the guide's emphasis on shadow work becomes really important.
Okay.
It's about acknowledging those darker aspects of ourselves.
Uh-huh.
The fears, the insecurities, and past wounds that we often try to suppress.
Okay. I gotta admit, shadow work sounds a little intimidating.
Yeah, it can be.
Do you have to be like a therapist?
No, not at all.
To do it effectively?
The guide provides gentle prompts and exercises
Okay.
to help you explore your shadow self with compassion and curiosity.
Okay.
It's about bringing those hidden parts of ourselves into the light, so to speak,
Uh-huh.
and integrating them into our wholeness.
So instead of running from those uncomfortable emotions or
Okay.
patterns, you're facing them head on
Yeah,
and learning from them.
exactly.
Wow.
And the guide emphasizes that this is a lifelong process.
Right.
It's not about achieving some perfect state of enlightenment,
Yeah.
but rather about continuous growth and self-discovery.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point.
Yeah.
It's about embracing the journey with all its ups and downs
Mm.
and recognizing that we're all constantly evolving.
And that evolution, that process of becoming more aligned with our authentic selves, is where the true magic lies.
Beautiful said.
Thank you.
But before we get too philosophical, I
Sure.
want to kind of circle back to something you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
which is this idea of finding magic in the everyday.
Yeah.
What are some examples of how we can do that?
Well, it could be as simple as paying attention to the synchronicities that happen throughout your day.
Okay.
Those seemingly coincidental events that feel like little winks from the universe.
Oh, I love synchronicities.
Yeah, like when you're thinking about someone and then they call you out of the blue.
Exactly.
Or you find a feather on the ground just when you needed a reminder of hope and guidance.
Right.
It's about opening yourself up to the possibility of magic.
Mm-hmm.
and recognizing it when it shows up.
So it's about shifting your perspective
Yeah,
and kind of paying attention to those subtle signs and
exactly.
messages. I like that. It feels very empowering.
And another way to find magic in the everyday is through creativity.
Oh, okay.
So whether it's painting, writing, dancing, or gardening,
Mm-hmm.
these activities can be powerful forms of self-expression and manifestation.
So it's like you're channeling that magical energy into
Yeah,
something tangible and beautiful.
exactly.
Yeah. I'm sensing a theme here.
Uh-huh.
Intentionality, connection,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
finding those sparks of wonder in even the most mundane moments.
precisely. And that's the essence of living a magical life, regardless of whether you identify as a witch or not.
Yeah.
It's about cultivating a mindset of openness, curiosity, and gratitude for all that is.
This has been such an insightful conversation.
Oh, thank you.
I feel like I'm starting to see the world through like a slightly different lens now.
That's the power of exploration and expanding our perspectives.
Yeah.
And remember, this is just a glimpse into the world of modern witchcraft.
Right.
There's so much more to discover and explore.
Okay, now before we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
we want to leave you with a final thought-provoking question to ponder. So we've talked about a lot of different practices.
We have.
From smoke cleansing to crystal grids,
Yeah.
dream journals to sigil magic.
A lot of cools.
But now we want to kind of turn it over to you, the listener.
Yeah.
If magic is about intentionality and mindfulness and connection, like we've been talking about,
Right.
where do you find those qualities in your own life?
That's a great question
know.
for self-reflection. That
Yeah.
Maybe it's those moments when you lose yourself in a creative project and you're just completely absorbed in the flow of inspiration.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, those moments when you feel like you're truly present
Right.
and connected to something bigger
Yeah.
than yourself.
Absolutely.
For me, I think it's when I'm out in nature,
Yeah.
like hiking in the woods or even just sitting by the ocean
Mm-hmm.
and feeling that vastness and the power of the natural world.
Right.
It's both grounding and awe-inspiring at the same time.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing those sparks of magic that already exist in your life
Yeah.
and maybe finding ways to fan those flames and make them burn even brighter.
Yeah. And I think what I love about this path is that there's no right or wrong way to do it.
Right.
It's about finding what resonates with you
Exactly.
and incorporating it into your life in a
Absolutely.
way that feels
Yeah.
authentic and empowering for you.
It's about honoring your own unique journey.
You know, when I first heard we were going to be doing a deep dive on modern witchcraft,
Mhm.
I'll be honest, I was a little hesitant.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, I thought it might be all about spells and potions.
Right.
And things that I just couldn't relate to.
Sure.
But it's so much deeper than that.
It is.
It's about mindset, it's about intentionality,
Yeah.
and it's about tapping into your own inner power.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have misconceptions about witchcraft.
Yeah, thanks to Hollywood and pop culture.
Yeah.
But what we've been exploring today is a very personal and empowering approach.
Yeah,
It's about reclaiming those ancient practices
right.
and reinterpreting them for modern life.
And what I love most is that it encourages you to be curious
Yeah.
and to explore and to create a practice that truly reflects who you are.
Absolutely, that's the heart of it.
Yeah,
It's about embracing the journey,
yeah,
the continuous process of self-discovery and growth,
right.
and remembering that we all have the potential to create a little magic in our own lives.
So if you're feeling inspired by what we've talked about today,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to dive in and learn more.
Yeah, there are so many resources available,
Yeah.
books, websites, even local groups and communities
Right.
where you can connect with others who are exploring this path.
And remember, it's not about becoming someone else
Right, yeah.
or following some rigid set of rules.
No, it's about connecting with your own intuition,
Yeah,
trusting your inner wisdom,
right.
and creating a life that feels aligned with your values and your dreams.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive into the world of modern witchcraft.
It's been my pleasure.
It's been a fascinating journey, and we hope you found it as enlightening as we have.
I hope so too.
Until next time, keep seeking, keep exploring, and keep the magic alive.